Hey, what up, girl? How you doing?
4 years ago, Constitutional Court Justices Bess Nkabinde and Chris Jafta testified about how Judge John Hlophe had visited them in their chambers. At the time, they and their fellow judges had been deciding on then corruption-accused Jacob Zuma's court battles with the state.
He said there was a list containing names of people who were also implicated in the arms deal. He had obtained the list from the National Intelligence, and he said something to the effect that some of the people who appeared in the list were going to lose their jobs when Mr. Zuma becomes the president.
Jafta testified that Hlophe had told him, "We pin our hopes on you," in Zulu. But Hlophe denied any wrongdoing, and the JSC backed him, dropping its inquiry against him in August 2009. That decision spawned a series of court battles that ultimately forced the JSC to reopen the Hlophe investigation. Years after giving evidence against Hlophe, however, Jafta and Nkabinde seem less than eager to return to the hot seat. They say new laws demand that any complaint against a judge must be based on a written affidavit, which neither have provided.
The practical problem is the two justices that have direct knowledge of what happened in those meetings in chambers are not clearly willing to provide any complaint before the tribunal. Now, how do you rectify that?
The JSC says it will deal with that argument when the tribunal gets underway. Hlophe's lawyers insist that even if Jafta and Nkabinde return to testify, their evidence in no way implicates Hlophe. For the record, what is Judge Hlophe's response to allegations that he tried to improperly influence these two judges to make pro-Jacob Zuma decisions?
He was giving his opinion as a judge. He was talking to his colleagues. Judges discuss cases day in, day out in their chambers. It has never been an issue.
And in news just in, President Cyril Ramaphosa has officially informed Judge Mr. Hlophe of his removal as a judge, and we'll have that story for you in our next bulletin. But that is the breaking story that is we are making here on the SABC News channel, that President Cyril Ramaphosa has officially removed Mr. Hlophe as a judge.
But the impeachment itself, what do you mean you were innocent? So you're not accused of having violated any laws fundamentally, right, as a lawyer. So this isn't criminal, what you're accused of doing. But it is an issue of ethics. And allegedly, you try to influence the judgment of two other judges in favor of President Jacob Zuma when he was facing a lot of legal challenges in the country. And you, in what's supposed to be a fair and objective panel, looking at the facts objectively, you tried to influence the outcome, which is completely unethical. And it was found that you had made those utterances, and that's why you were impeached. So you're not being accused of being a criminal, but you're being accused of being a jurist who does not hold himself by the highest ethical standards.
I will deal with that immediately. Lawyers and judges all over the world speak about cases before them. Even in the Western Cape, it was not uncommon. For example, I would be sitting in a criminal trial. Yeah. I walk into the common room, somebody says, "John, the person who appears before you is a grootskelm," or something along those lines. It doesn't mean I must walk back to court and find that person guilty. Everybody who is fair-minded knows that my impeachment was political. I will tell you why I'm saying that. If you look at how it started to begin with, even before I was formally charged before the JSC, there was a press statement that was issued and sent to various media houses, including the opposition party, that was the Democratic Alliance, right, before I was formally charged. Yeah. It took a week or so, then I was formally charged. Thereafter, on the 29th of September 2009, I was formally cleared by the JSC. Right. I was cleared completely. Then came Helen Zille, the leader of the opposition, and the interlopers like Judge Johan Krechler. They litigated. They were obviously not happy about the fact that I was cleared. They litigated and started this whole thing all over again. Yeah. The evidence did not change at all. What changed was a new panel, and there were a new set of rules, and they were made to apply to my case retrospectively. Also, do not forget that Judges Nkabinde and Jafta never wanted to complain. They are on record. They did not complain. They were forced to complain. So undoubtedly, this was political.
Okay. And if it's political, what is the motivation? Some people have said a populist attack on a counter revolutionary posture of the Constitutional Court. So what made you, by your own kind of interpretation of what was going on, a target for impeachment?
It could be a number of reasons. I think all right, number one, the Democratic Alliance never liked me right from the beginning. Helen Zille is on record as having called me an ANC deployee. I was still a serving judge, and she managed to get away with that. In other words, she perceived me right from the beginning as an ANC deployee, which was nonsensical because I've never had anything to do with the ANC. I've never been a member of the ANC. So right from the beginning, and also remember, in February 2004, I authored the racism report based on my own experience in the Western Cape, which was shared by fellow black judges. Okay. I authored that, and that was the turning point in my judicial career.
The most important person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs.